Welcome to my channel. It's a new day, so we're going to do more music. I've got 6 requested reactions, just like always. And I've got a bonus video, just like always. The bonus video I've selected for today is Dax singing Diary of a Trying Man. This was just recently released. Before we get into that, I got to thank you for coming, and thank you for your support. Thank you for all that you do for my channel. It's just amazing to me. It really is. I mean, let me take a look real quick here. Yeah, I'm almost, God, unbelievable. I'm almost at 80,000 subscribers. 80,000. That is mind-boggling. Mind-boggling. The city I live in is 115,000. Wow. I just have to thank you. That's all I know to do. I always put the artist links in the description of their playlists so you can support them as well. But I put the link to the song that I'm reacting to in the description of the video. I also put a link in there from Wikipedia if I can find anything that makes any sense and is relevant. But I don't put the link to the reaction request form because I'm not currently accepting new requests. I've got over 3,000 in my queue right now. That's over 500 days at 6 requests a day. So I just can't take any more right now. But I do live stream on Sunday for 3 hours. So if you come to Rumble on Sunday at 4 p.m. UTC and you put a request in the chat for a reaction, I'm going to react to it live. So this is Dax, Diary of a Trying Man. Not dying, trying.
I GPS on my thoughts, but they lead me to places that gon' hurt me inside. I've been trying to stay strong, but when the memories spawn, I gotta chase them with whiskey, cause they run on my mind. Can't turn the radio on, because they only play songs that take me back to those days and all those late night drives. When you'd lay on my arm, tell me what I do wrong, and I would look in your face and say, but girl, I try. I'll try. I try. I tried to be the man that you wanted, but I couldn't provide. 21, I was young, dumb, living, chasing dreams, trying to go from a boy to a man. I gave my heart to a pretty little demon who was asking for the world and a Disney romance. She valued money, not the substance that I had. I was building for the future, but she couldn't understand. And that a diamond only shines over time under pressure that's applied from a disciplined hand. She let me go, then she moved away. Said she could do better and I was a man she could replace. Said I wasn't worth it and the memory that we had made was just wrong time, wrong place, and a whole mistake. I keep trying to move on, I GPS on my thoughts, but they lead me to places that gon' hurt me inside. I've been trying to stay strong, but when the memories spawn, I gotta chase them with whiskey, cause they run on my mind. Can't turn the radio on, because they only play songs that take me back to those days and all those late night drives. When you'd lay on my arm, tell me what I do wrong, and I would look in your face and say, but girl, I try. I'll try. I try. I tried to be the man that you wanted, but I couldn't provide. Now I'm moving at a different pace. Don't blame me for moving on because you couldn't wait. You left to find yourself and found out what we had was great. Our city's way too small to act like we ain't never did. And now you're banging on my line, I ain't calling you back. You used to race all on my mind, now my life's on track. You ain't gon' waste no more my time, cause I'm not that man. You knew from the past that gave you a chance. You used to think that it was all a game. Looking back, girl, I think that I'm the one to blame. I'm setting boundaries, I'm not the same. Don't call cause I blocked you on everything. And if I ever come across your mind, I hope you think about those late night drives and tell yourself I didn't deserve those lies, those words, those fights. I tried. I keep trying to move on, I GPS on my thoughts, but they lead me to places that gon' hurt me inside. I've been trying to stay strong, but when the memories spawn, I gotta chase them with whiskey, cause they run on my mind. Can't turn the radio on, because they only play songs that take me back to those days and all those late night drives. When you lay on my arm, tell me what I do wrong, and I would look in your face and say, but girl, I'll try. I tried to be the man that you wanted, but I couldn't provide.
Quiet. He's gonna say something.
I'm pretty tired. Think I'll go home now.
Okay, that was interesting. I have a number of thoughts, and I do want to get to them, but I want to remember to mention this. That was an interesting nod to Forrest Gump that he stuck in there. Very interesting. It's interesting for a number of reasons, because this is a contemporary song. It's just being released now. And it uses references to things that the performer, Dax, obviously thinks at least some of his audience are going to recognize and understand. And that speaks to how art kind of permeates our culture. And I just thought that was fascinating. I really did. But getting to the song, there's a very fascinating line in there. I'm not gonna remember it exactly. I gotta adjust my light here. Sorry. I'm not gonna remember exactly what he said, but it was along the lines of, "I tried to be the man you wanted me to be," and I just thought that was fascinating, because far too many relationships exist that are trying to do that, trying to turn the partner in the relationship into something that they're not, trying to make them be somebody that they're not. And some of those relationships last a lifetime, but they shouldn't. And many of them fall apart before the lifetime arrives, because it's always struck me as weird and strange that people get married and then try to change the person they married. Who do they think they fell in love with to begin with? You understand what I mean? It's like you fell in love with someone hopefully because of who they are and what they represent in terms of a person and a personality and their behavior and their actions and all those kinds of things. And now that you've got them married, you want to say, okay, now I want you to be this. How does that make sense? It doesn't. It doesn't. The last thing you should try to do is change your partner. If your partner isn't what you want, get rid of them. Don't try to change them, because you're never going to be able to. The more you try, the harder they'll resist. And that's what he's saying. I tried to be what you wanted me to be, but I couldn't be it, and so I left. And that's, it's a real problem in relationships in the world, is that you fall in love with one person, and then after you marry them, you want them to be someone else. you know. I've never understood, for example, how a woman can marry a police officer and then want him to quit his job. I understand that they're concerned about his safety and that kind of thing. But I mean, you married a police officer. You knew what he was when you married him. Why would you try to change that? Why do you think he's a police officer? Because he doesn't want to be? Does that make any sense? You know, why would you marry a carpenter and then tell him to stop building houses? It's crazy. And yet it happens. It actually happens. And sometimes the person who's being asked to change will actually make a sincere effort to change and become whatever that ideal is that the other person has, but they're never going to achieve it because the goalposts will keep moving. They've already told you that when they moved them to begin with. If they're going to move the goalposts once, what makes you think they're not going to move them again? You see what I mean? It's like if you want someone to be something they're not, don't marry them, leave them. Go find someone who is what you want to begin with, because you're going to have a lot more success in that scenario than you are in the first one. And like he said, you know, the mere effort of trying drove him to drink. He turned to whiskey. And that happens a lot too. It's just a sad, sad world that we live in, where people think that when you marry someone, you should be able to mold them into whatever it is you think you want, instead of admiring them for what they already are. Just my thoughts. Let's move on to the requested reactions today, okay? Father, I thank you for watching over every single person that comes to my channel, and I thank you for holding them in your arms and blessing them with your abundance. And I thank you for walking with them every day. And I thank you for doing that for all the people that they love as well. This is the Vietnam era vet, out.